What up, Game Boys and Girls? Big T here, back with another video, and today we're talking gamers, man. Gamers today. And we're mostly talking about 30, 40 plus year old men who get upset and bent out of shape about these weird things in gaming. So, I don't get it. So we recently had the Microsoft showing their showcase, showing off games that are upcoming, games that are anticipated, and there apparently was this collective outrage, a continuing outrage, because I'll talk about previous situation, of girls that are ugly or perceived as ugly by, again, 30, 40 something year old men in gaming, game characters, specifically like lead characters, and apparently the character they showed for Fable, I don't know if she's created a generated character, because Fable lets you create your character, so but that's the character they use to display the game, and apparently she's ugly. It's the most baffling, embarrassing thing I've seen kind of trending in gaming, where there's this perceived agenda to make women look less attractive to these basement-dwelling mouth breathers who play video games. Because, let's just go on their logic. They have to have hot girls or pretty babes in everything when it comes to gaming. They need the fantasy girl, fantasy woman character, the Lara Croft type, I guess, for them to feel like men, apparently. And I'll say it, I've said it 1,000 times, and this is not just to pander. I'm sure that's what I'll be accused of. But I'll say it 1,000 times. I feel sorry for women today on this specific thing. A lot of times women cause some of their own issues, a lot of their own problems. But in this specific thing, I feel sorry for women because they have to pick from this group of degenerates. They have to pick a mate from this group of men who cry about these things in video games. As if there's something of merit to talk about. I just couldn't find myself doing something like that. I'd be way too embarrassed to sit here and say, "Oh man, they trying to make women look uglier in video games because what? You won't be able to bait to them." Is that what it is? That way they can control your baiting when you're playing video games. That's the agenda. The agenda is to make women in video games ugly, so therefore you won't get an erection. What is the end goal? I don't understand. But they had the same outrage when Aloy was shown for what's the sequel called? Forbidden West, Horizon Forbidden West. There was some renders of her and whatnot, and people were pointing out that she looks boyish to them or whatever. And then I think they've even pointed to like Last of Us, and it's like they look like average girls that you would see every day. But apparently these men want to play only with quote unquote supermodel type video game characters. To what? What does that do for you as a man? The fictional character you're playing with in a video game, what does that do for you? I really want to know. How is that somehow thwarting your manhood, that you don't get to play with these supermodel characters? Mind you, none of these dudes would have any kind of courage talking to any real woman. A lot of these dudes in real life, they would be definitely afraid to speak to a woman who looked like the ones they call ugly, or a woman who looks like these supermodel characters they want to have and they want to portray in video games. They would have no courage, because I can't see a man who sits and thinks about these things and gets upset about these things being a person who's serious enough to be able to talk to a woman. I just I just don't, a real woman, a woman in the real world. I just don't see how those two things go together. Sometimes a lot of this stuff is just because people, like I said, would probably accuse me of pandering. But sometimes this stuff, I think, is also guys pandering to this new culture of just whiny bitch ass men complaining about everything, about there being this agenda to squash their manhood. You control your manhood, okay? And if this is how you defend your manhood, it makes you look like a bitch. And it's just, I just don't see why they don't see that. Because they always talk about how emotional women are, and women are emotional. These are women traits. But these dudes, a lot of these dudes today are some of the most emotional bitches that you'll ever meet. Displaying what they consider womanly traits, showing emotion. They're just the thin-skinned, most emotional little boys you'll ever meet. And they're in their 30s and 40s, and they also have children, which is frightening that they're bringing forth new generations with this kind of thinking. Being, you're a parent and you indoctrinate your kids to some extent. You have some power over what they think about, what they see. And it's frightening to see. These girls are not ugly. These fictitious video game character girls are not ugly. They're just average looking women, and a lot of these dudes are also very average looking. Maybe is that they're serving a fantasy that I'm an average looking guy, but I get to control what I consider a above average looking woman in a video game. I don't know what this culture is. It has to be a culture, and like I said, I think there's some pandering. A lot of people know they can get a lot of men or women hating dudes on their on their radar. They can get a lot of attention from these perpetually women hating men. And same could go for the other side. There's a lot of man hating females as well, but I'm specifically talking about this because I'm a man, and it's weird that this is something that exists. It seems to be growing. This just culture of fear mongering about someone taking away your manhood. You're the only one taking away your manhood, bruh. If this is the type of stuff that worries you on a daily basis, embarrassing and sad. I don't know what else to say about it. I wish it would go away, because as a gamer, I'm associated with this type of thought process and behavior, and it's something that embarrasses the hell out of me, and I wish it would embarrass these dudes as well. I don't know. You guys let me know. Am I off base with this? Do you see this as well? Every time a new video game comes out that involves a female character or something, there's just this dialogue that goes on with, again, 30 plus, 40 plus year old men. I don't know. This is sad. This is sad thinking about the future. If this is what's going on right now. You guys let me know. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about this phenomenon? Do you see it yourselves? Where are you? What side of the fence are you with this? Do you overly think about the looks of video game characters? Does it reflect on your manhood in some way? Do you feel that way? If you do, you need to get some help. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you again for watching and listening. And now, see you fools next time. Peace out.